Let's talk about from the neck up. What helps us breathe? What is that right there? It's a nose, absolutely. It's a nose, and it's your nasal passage. Right there. You breathe in through your nose, the air comes down. There's another entrance through your mouth. Comes in through the mouth. Goes right down here. This tube, or windpipe, is called the trachea. The trachea The trachea is the main passage down your throat. And then at the bottom of your trachea, right here, underneath your Adam's apple, are two tubes, the bronchial tubes. And it's two tubes that split off of the windpipe and connect to each lung. You have two lungs right here. One connects to one, the other one connects to the other. So these are the bronchial tubes. It's two of them. Okay. Inside each lung, you have these things that look like branches, branches of a tree or a root system. They're smaller and smaller bronchial tubes. These orange are also small bronchial tubes, and they get smaller and smaller and smaller, and they branch off each other. At the end of each branch is something called an air sac. Now, these are big. You can see them big on this drawing, but in reality, you'd have to use a microscope to see them, because you can't see them with the naked eye. But for our purposes, I'm putting them big so you can see where they are in the lung. Now, when we exhale and inhale, something happens with these. Now, can anybody see what the final word is on the board? Diaphragm. The diaphragm is really the only muscle, other than some muscles that are in your rib cage, that actually make you breathe. The lungs on their own cannot move without the help of the diaphragm. And I have these arrows up here because we're going to talk about how the diaphragm works. When you breathe in, something happens to the diaphragm. When you breathe out, the diaphragm does something else. Now, the diaphragm is actually a long, flat muscle that contracts and releases. It tightens and relaxes. Now, that is how you breathe. It's really the only muscle that you use to breathe, other than some other muscles that are in your rib cage, which we're not going to talk about today.